Hey y'all, I'm Amber. I am on a health journey and this is a what I eat in a day for weight loss. This is just ideas for you, just in case you're in a little bit of a food rut, some things you might want to try. This is not to say that if you want to lose weight, you need to eat this way, because we all have different needs, different likes, different wants, and different times. So I might be able to cook everything and you might be more convenience food based on your time allotment for cooking. And that's okay. We can both have a successful journey wherever we are. With that being said, I'm very hungry. As you can tell, I actually have my makeup done before eating breakfast. That never happens, but I always look like garbage at the beginning of my videos. And I said, not today, but then I came with wet hair. But you know, wanting me to do my hair and makeup before breakfast is just asking too much from me. So this is what you get, okay? I'm gonna start my morning with an affogato oatmeal. If you ever had affogato, you know it is espresso brewed over a scoop of gelato, and it is one of my very intense pleasures in life, especially if you get the cappuccino gelato with the espresso over it. So good. Obviously, I don't have gelato or an espresso maker or any of those things. So I'm just gonna put some of those flavors, AKA coffee and cream, into my oatmeal. This oatmeal for me is only 3 points. I'm gonna add 2 links of this turkey sausage, mainly because this doesn't really have a ton of protein and I want protein. So 2 points for 2 sausages. I'm giving points because I'm using Weight Watchers as a tool for me to focus on healthy fruits and vegetables and lean proteins, and Weight Watchers is a great tool to do that while still letting you have other things for points. If you're not on Weight Watchers, we can still be friends. These are still delicious recipes, healthy recipes for you and your family. So don't let that deter you. If you're not on Weight Watchers, it's okay. Everyone's super nice in the comments and you're not gonna get any grief for not being on WW. So let's show you how this is made. These are the ingredients I like for mine. Make sure to make this your own and do what you like. I'm gonna do oats here. I don't love having a giant bowl of oatmeal, so I only do 1/3 of a cup, and that's plenty for me. If you love oatmeal and you want to do a 1/2 cup, feel free. I just basically double the amount of milk to oats, so just keep that in mind as you are making yours. I do a non-dairy milk, not because I have anything against milk, but because milk makes my stomach hurt, and no thank you. So if you want to use milk, it's going to make your points higher, but hey, there's fats and proteins and other things in there, so do you, boo. If you want to use monk fruit sweetener or stevia or anything like that, go ahead. I have this, and as you can see, I've had this for months, and I'm not using it in my coffee. So I'm just going to go ahead and use it here so it doesn't go to waste. And I just do a tiny splash. Always add a little bit of salt to your oats. And I'm going to do about 3/4 of a teaspoon of this instant espresso powder. And I'm just gonna do 1.5 of this because this is a 1/2 teaspoon. And now we're gonna stir it up. I got this idea from Daphne Oz. I bought her cookbook. Hers is like way more elaborate and kind of like all of her recipes. Just because I have time to cook doesn't mean I want to cook hours a day, every day, 3 times a day. It's not my jam, you know. I like to cook, but that just seems a bit much. So I'm gonna microwave this for about 1.5 minutes and you'll see what that looks like. I think that's gonna have to cook for 2 minutes because it wasn't quite done. That can happen when you add cold milk to oatmeal. Sometimes it takes a little longer. But I wanted to show you a couple things because I went to my library, which is a great resource if you are looking for recipes, and found these 3 recipe books that I wanted to try. They had more, but you know, I don't have time to look through all of these within 3 weeks if I get more of them. I thought this was interesting, not because there's a half-naked man on it, but because I've been looking for ways to get more protein in that isn't just chicken breast, so I'm hoping that will help. I haven't actually looked at it yet. Lean meat. Well, we'll see how this goes. Ooh, that looks good. Okay, you're forgiven. That one looks good. My Instant Pot, I've been using it a lot as a slow cooker, but I haven't been using it as an actual Instant Pot, so I would like to have more recipes of that. I've just never really played around with it all that much. And then this is the Pioneer Woman's friend, Hyacinth, I guess she wrote a cookbook. I didn't know that until I went there. So if you have a library, go check it out because you might be able to get some good recipe ideas. All right, I made a rookie mistake and didn't look at the back of my oatmeal. It's a newer oatmeal, and apparently I've only used it for overnight oats. So this one took 3 minutes to cook and not my usual 1.5. They weren't quick oats. So this took 3 minutes, and I just wanted to keep it real with how it looks around the side. I'm going to move this over to a different bowl that isn't gross because, you know, I need to take a picture for my Instagram, and that's not cute. But this is real life versus Instagram, so keep that in mind when you're looking at those Instagram pics. It doesn't look like that when it comes out of the microwave. And yeah, if you're not following me, go follow me over there. I'm gonna switch it to this nice clean one and take a picture. Oh no, get out of here, fly. And then we're gonna top it with some Cool Whip. Okay, so I added about 1/4 cup of Cool Whip, took my pictures, it's melting. This is what you want, that's the difference. That creaminess with the coffee, that's the combo you're looking for. That's like a perfect bite. I did taste this before adding the Cool Whip and decided to add a little bit more of that sweetener. And I'm gonna have my 2 over here on the side because I'm not gonna dirty a plate for those 2 guys. I'm just gonna eat them right now. So for my oatmeal, my sausage, and my cup of coffee that you haven't seen, but it's just my normal creamer, it's 6 points total for this breakfast. Sausage almost choked me to death. Just a couple things. I'm not telling you every time I'm filling up my water, just know I'm drinking water all day long. I get a minimum of 8 cups a day, but a lot of times it's more than that. I just stopped counting at 8. So I know I get at least my 8 cups every day. If you're on WW, it's the simplest way you can get some points back. Just keep it next to you all day long, and there you go, 1 point back. Another thing is I want to talk to you about a fall challenge. So stay tuned all the way to the end of the video so we can have that little fall challenge chat. It might be different than what you think it's going to be. So stay tuned. I'm going to go eat this. Enjoy every bite. Hot. Hot is hot. Every time. I've spent the last couple hours editing, and now we're going to have a snack. Can you tell someone likes watermelon? Yes, it's not for you. Poor guy. I'm having a big bowl of watermelon, which is obviously 0 points. It's pretty much lunchtime, but I'm not quite ready to cook yet. So I am going to eat this and finish up the editing that I was doing. And then I'll see you here in about 20 minutes for some lunchtime. Time for me to cook lunch. My chicken is already air frying. I'll show you how I did that. I like to buy the large packages of chicken from my grocery store because I can get them for cheaper. And when I get them home, I cut them in half so that I have 2 chicken cutlets instead of 1 giant thick chicken breast. And then I just keep them in a container. I set a reminder on my phone so that I know the expiration date, so I have an alert. At that time, I will go out. If there's any left over that I haven't cooked for that week, I will throw it into gallon size Ziploc or whatever size Ziploc and put it in the freezer for later use. This way I don't waste anything, but I have chicken ready to go as soon as I need it. I like to do this for lunches mostly because I don't want to have to like cut up, trim chicken, all that things for lunch. I just want to be able to throw it in the air fryer with a pear fork and not even have to worry about raw chicken everywhere. So that's what I like to do. Put them in the air fryer and added a good amount of this seasoning. This is the Chef Paul Prud'homme. I have no idea. Seasoning. This is the Poultry Magic. And I did not add any salt or anything because there's salt in that seasoning. And now I'm cooking it at 380 for 15 minutes. I'll check it at that time. I put 2 in there because this lunch is going to be enough for a few lunches. So I want to have enough chicken already cooked so I can just turn this into a little bit of a meal prep situation. As the base of our bowl, we're going to add this pearled couscous. So for 1/3 of this package, it is 4 points. This is my base. I have a version of this I like to make with the smaller couscous and pesto and other things that I need to get and make for y'all. I just don't have any of that stuff with me. So I'm going for the same vibes, but just a little bit different. So we're gonna cook that. We're gonna top it with chicken and our veggies. Ooh. Chicken is done. Look how beautiful that is. Took exactly 15 minutes. Just gonna move over here. I'll put it on my cutting board in just a minute. let's see, I have 1 3/4 cup of water, 2 teaspoons of olive oil, and then my couscous. I have to wait for that to come to a boil. And I have 2 teaspoons of oil in this one. Because I'm turning this into 3 servings, me doing 2 teaspoons in each lets me track just 1.5 teaspoons of oil for my serving. And this is just squash and onion. Also like zucchini in this. You can put whatever you want. These are just what I had. My squash was giant and it had these weird spongy seeds. So I did remove the seeds from my squash. I don't always do that, but I did today. As always, we're going to season really well. I just did about a 2-finger pinch of salt. Remember, I use kosher salt, so it is less salty than table salt. This is my mess of a cabinet. I think I'm going to go, I was going to do grape seasoning, but hey, buttery blend, that sounds good. See, you don't have to like be stressed out if you don't have the perfect seasoning or you're missing an ingredient. Just substitute something you know you like. It'll probably taste good. And butter and squash are a winning combination in my book. I'm gonna let these cook just while my couscous is cooking. Oh, look at that. Put the lid on and let that cook for 8 minutes before doing more stuff. Just follow the packet. The only thing I've changed is I did 2 teaspoons instead of 1 tablespoon of oil. All right, I'll come back when everything is ready and we're trying to put it together. I've mentioned this in the past, but for anyone that is new, if you want a moist, juicy chicken, let these suckers rest for as long as you can before you cut them open. If you cut them open when they're really, really hot, all that juice is gonna run onto the cutting board and out of your chicken. So we're gonna let these set, and I'm gonna cut these right before the rest of my stuff is ready, so about 10 minutes. I have to let this cook for 4 to 6 minutes. My couscous is done, and I have it divided into a container for me and my husband to have for lunch tomorrow, and then my bowl that I'm having tonight. It's just stained from pasta sauce. And then I'm gonna divide this chicken and my veggies between all of them. If you're wondering that if I cook every day for lunch, I don't, because I do things like this where when I do cook, I am cooking multiples so that I don't have to cook the next day. I can give my husband a little extra. And these are just 2 giant chicken breasts that I cut up. Now let's add our veggies. This is awkward. The camera's right in the way. I basically just want a cup's worth so I can get my point back. Not to mention, you know, veggies are delicious. If I had it, I'd add pesto. I don't. And I'm going to toss in my cheese. I'll worry about those cheese. I'll put cheese on these once they're cooled, since those aren't being eaten right now. They don't need cheese on them right now. And just let that really hot couscous melt the mozzarella. And because I have it and because I love it, I'm gonna add some pickled red onion. I'm gonna add a few and chop them up so they're bite size. If you liked fresh parsley and things like that, then I would recommend adding that. I don't like fresh parsley, so no. All right, I'm gonna go eat this. It's not the prettiest thing I've ever done, but it's sure gonna be tasty. I am in my garage about to leave. I gotta go get a few groceries before picking up my daughter, and I'm having an iced coffee. This is just iced coffee with a couple tablespoons of my creamer. So this is like a 1-point snack, just a little pick-me-up, since I won't be able to get back home before having to pick up my daughter. I am back home from picking up my daughter. Unfortunately, that means you're gonna hear her talking in the background because she just can't help herself. She's on the phone with a friend, and I'm about to have a snack. It's about 4 hours before I'm gonna eat dinner, so it's probably gonna be a good sized snack. I have a cup of carrots, just a handful, 1 point worth of pretzels, and 2 tablespoons of hummus. And I have next to me a banana, just in case this isn't enough. Because we're gonna get into our challenge talk, and making sure you're not hungry is a part of that. So I want to challenge myself and you, my friends, to do a challenge this fall, and it is very simple. It is falling in love with the journey. If you are new to my channel, you may not know that I have lost 50 pounds in the past before. Insert random picture of me at my, like 5 pounds away from my goal weight. I got there by being very restrictive with my food. I did Weight Watchers for the first year. I think I lost 35 pounds my first year on Weight Watchers. This was 9 years ago about. And then the second, like 8 months or 9 months after that, I got very restrictive, very into clean eating, very into bikini series kind of challenges where I pushed myself way too hard, and I really messed up my metabolism, all because I wanted to lose weight at a faster pace. Why I think this challenge is the only kind of challenge you probably should be joining is because I got to really close to my goal weight by doing different challenges while I was really restrictive, but I gained it all back. And that's because it didn't matter how it tasted. It didn't matter if I was sore. It didn't matter if I was hungry. I was gonna do what I needed to do to get to my goal. The problem with that is it's not sustainable, and whether you want to or not, you're gonna gain it all back because you're gonna break. You're gonna hit a breaking point if that's how you're losing weight. And it's just not worth it. I started gaining weight almost immediately. And it wasn't much at first. It was like 5 pounds, and then 10 pounds the year after that, and then 10 pounds the year after that, and it kind of just added up. And I was actively trying to lose weight during these periods where I was gaining weight. I was working out. I had just damaged my metabolism so badly that the 1,500 calories I was eating was too much food. And I don't want that to happen to you. So instead, what we need to focus on is finding ways of movement, and recipes and foods that are healthy, that we love and look forward to having. That way we feel excited to eat our food. We feel excited to go to the gym because this is the life that we're building. When you lose your weight, you can't just stop all the things that got you there and expect to stay there. You have to keep doing those things or else you're gonna gain weight back. So the best way to do that is by really enjoying the process. So our goals on this Falling in Love with the Journey challenge is, number 1, making sure you're drinking at least 8 glasses of water a day. For some people, 8 cups of water sounds daunting, and some people 8 cups of water sounds like nothing. We're gonna just be right in the middle here. I normally drink more than 8 cups of water, but there are days where I don't, but I always keep it with me. If you're drinking 4 cups of water, don't jump to 8 cups of water. Step it up throughout a week or 2 weeks and slowly get it up to the 8 cups. Yes, you'll be peeing a lot. Yes, we're gonna be thankful for the steps we get while we're peeing. And you'll be amazed how quickly your body can really react to getting the extra water, and how quickly you'll start craving water when you don't have it. Second part of the challenge. If you're hungry, girl, you better eat. And I do mean that. Pick out one of your 0-point foods that you like and eat it. Okay, if you're scared about gaining weight or going over points, they gave you 0-point foods. They expect you to use 0-point foods. I guarantee you, you're probably not eating enough vegetables. I don't eat enough vegetables, but I'm hungry now, and pick a vegetable or a fruit. I got both. I gotta keep my options open. But you're not doing yourself any favors by slowing your metabolism down. And you're also gonna be cranky. And you can't fall in love with your journey if you're hangry all the time. So make sure you're eating enough calories to make you feel good. If you're always low on energy and you're not eating carbs and you're not eating enough food, here's your sign. Eat more, make sure you have some carbs. This is a delicious, healthy carb, okay? I went through that keto phase. I know that sounds scary, but when we really start demonizing our food, like a banana, like, what hope is there in the world, guys? Our third part of this challenge is to try a new recipe once a week. I say that with a upward tilt in my voice because it's kind of a question. You know where you are in your journey. There are foods that I love and enjoy eating, and I can go to those easily. So if you're already at that point where, hey, you know exactly what you like, there's a lot of healthy options you like, maybe your prioritizing should be, I'm gonna eat one of those a day. I'm gonna eat one vegetable recipe I love a day, or 3 times a week. Maybe you're in a rut and you're like, you know what, it really would be a good idea to get out there and see what kind of ways I can cook different vegetables or lean meats or fruit desserts that aren't super high in sugar. There are a ton of options on the WW app, but there are resources here on YouTube as well. So try one thing, even if it is just a new carrot recipe, and then you know the bulk of your meal is something that you like so that you won't be hungry if you don't like what you make. Our fourth part of this challenge is to try a new exercise. Again, because you know your schedule. If you are a person who already loves the kind of movement you're doing, prioritize doing it. If you're doing things because it burns calories like I used to, I hate HIIT. It's the worst. But I used to do it because I'm like, this is the fastest way to burn calories. And if I'm gonna work out twice today, I need something quick. Because yes, that's the person I was. So if that's where you're at, and you're doing things simply because you feel like you should be, or because you feel guilty if you don't do something, let's lose that mentality and try something else. Maybe you just don't like walking, or you just don't like running, or you just don't like yoga, and try something new. If you're watching this, then I already know that you have YouTube, and search up different workouts on YouTube. It's a great resource for food and workouts and meditation, anything like that. Maybe you love walking. Maybe walking's boring, and maybe you should try a kickboxing class or a Zumba class or a hip hop dance class. Or maybe you would love HIIT. Maybe you would love calisthenics, where you're doing push-ups and squats and using your own body weight as things. You don't have to get a gym membership to be active. You don't have to be super fit to be active. Maybe you like yoga. Maybe you like Tai Chi. You won't know until you try. So try it, and try it a couple times, because sometimes, like the first time I did yoga, I hated it. But a few times after I did yoga, I loved it. Do some self-reflecting and find out what it is that you really want. The fifth part of this challenge is for your mental health. So I want you to do some kind of meditation or prayer at least once a week, but every day would be better. That could be visualizing yourself at your smaller weight. That could be visualizing yourself running with your grandkids. That could be praying to God as you sit up in a upright position. That can be talking to a counselor. That could be doing a guided meditation from YouTube. You have lots of options, but if you neglect your mental health, it doesn't matter what your physical body does, you will not be happy. I was not my happiest self when I was my smallest self, because I still had so much self-doubt, so much insecurities. The most beautiful people on earth have insecurities. That never goes away. But learning to love yourself, love the skin that you're in, that comes through practice, and that starts now. Finding things to love about your body instead of reasons to pick it apart is so crucial. And it's because we love this body that we have and this spiritual being that we are, that we want to give it the fuel it needs by eating proper foods. We want to keep it moving and healthy and strong. We want to give our body what it wants and needs because we love it, not because we hate the way we look, therefore we should punish it with diet and exercise. Getting that mind switch will be crucial for you in your journey. Remember, you're building the life that you need to keep living after you get to your goal. So you don't want to be miserable the rest of your life. So find ways to make it happy, exciting, something you love, something that fills you with joy, or at least endorphins. You know. And the sixth and final part of this challenge is to get more sleep. Sleep is crucial in many, many areas of our life, but also with dealing with stress and our cortisol levels. If you are stressed out all the time and you are sleep deprived, that is not a good combo for health or happiness. So weight loss on the back burner there, you're gonna be miserable and probably sick and lots of other things that don't sound like a good time for me or for you. I know that we're all busy, but prioritizing getting at least 7 hours of sleep a night is a must, guys. And if that means that the laundry didn't get done, it means the laundry didn't get done. If that means you ate takeout, then it means you ate takeout, because sleep is more important than being perfect on a daily basis, I promise you. We're striving for consistency over time rather than perfection for small bursts of time. That's how you're gonna stay consistent and get to your goal and stay at your goal. So we're gonna do this challenge from now, whenever you see this, until Thanksgiving. But the goal here really is that when Thanksgiving comes, that what you are so thankful for is that you have built a life and a lifestyle for yourself that you truly, truly love. I hope that you give yourself grace. None of these are hard lines to stick to. These are more just encouragement to help you get to that place when Thanksgiving comes that you can be thankful for your life. I'm gonna go eat my snack and we will see you at dinner time. It is time for me to cook dinner. If you saw my video from Saturday, you know I had all these plans for my meals that I had bought. And then the next day I had ribs and a pork butt that had thawed slightly because the freezer was left ajar. It wasn't enough to make them go bad. It was just enough to thaw them slightly, which I didn't want to refreeze them and, you know, have a situation. So we decided to just go ahead and thaw them all the way and go ahead and cook them. I made some delicious pulled pork that I posted on Instagram. So go follow me over there if you aren't following me there, which was amazing. We made tacos out of it. I have leftovers for that for tomorrow. But the other part was the ribs. So we've already smoked them. And I think we have about half a rack left. I'm keeping it here in the foil. It has some of the juices from when we cooked it still in that foil. I'll cook that here in a minute, but first I'm going to add my sheet pan. So if you saw my plan, I had originally planned on this being a chicken and potato green bean sheet pan dinner, but you know, we had to improvise. So now this is going to go with my ribs because I don't want my green beans to go bad before I can use my chicken. Chicken got put in the freezer. Hopefully it'll stay frozen. I have just a thing of green beans here and potatoes. These are both 0 point foods for me. All I did was spray them with avocado oil, added salt and pepper, and then I added a little bit of paprika to my potatoes. And then I just smushed them up with my hands, getting everything coated. And now these are gonna go in for about 25 minutes on 425. I'm gonna check them halfway through and flip them around and see how they're cooking, and that's probably when I will add my ribs. So I will show you when it's all plated up. These ended up cooking for about 33 minutes total, and it was absolutely delicious with the ribs, green beans, and potatoes. It's the end of the night. I am ready to wind this day down. I'm going to have one of these Weight Watcher mint chocolate bars for a little snack. I think these are great for when you have a sweet tooth, but you're not actually hungry. This really helps. It's only 2 points. It's small, but it's really good. I really like the mint one and the caramel one. The peanut butter one, it's okay. I'll eat them because I bought a variety pack, but these two are my favorite. I'm also gonna have a glass of hot tea. This is a gingerbread joy. I found this on clearance after the winter. That's when I got it. I've only had a few of them so far, but I do like it. It's just been pretty hot and I haven't wanted hot tea at night. But now that it was, you know, in the 80s, it actually was in the 70s today. So now it's tea weather, I guess. I get 23 points a day. I earned 4 points back through vegetables and water and ended my day with 30 points, which means I used about 3 of my weekly points. The TV just turned on randomly. So I'm gonna go. I'll see you next time.